we take pride in doing our research on this show, believe it or not. Small things. If you have somebody on and you're not quite sure how to pronounce their names, maybe somebody new, a reporter, maybe a player. So Fritzy tells me today, hey, I got Sam Amick on. He's the USA Today basketball writer. I said, no, it's Sam Amick. He goes, no, he told me that we've been mispronouncing it. So
it wasn't like anger or anything, because supposedly the whole world of the sports business all this time has been calling him Amick.
McLovin worked with the guy for years at Sports Illustrated.
I called him Sam.
Oh, you didn't call him Sam Amick?
No.
But don't you want Samick, like Sam Amick, instead of Sam Amick? Sam, I can't change it. I'm sorry. It's Sam Amick. I can't adjust here.
Fair enough, Dan. Fair enough. I'll just, my family can disown me and the heritage can move on. But as long as you...
Sam, will you tell your family to change it so it's Sam Amick?
Well, I'm with you on Samick. Samick's always been fun, and I never feel inclined to correct Samick. But you know how it is, man. It's live radio. If you go on and you drop Amick, I'm not going to bring the show to a halt and say, hey, wait a minute here. You know what I mean?
It sounded like you were pulling a Tony Dorsett, Theismann, Thiesman. So maybe you're getting a little bit too much attention here, Sam, and maybe you were... Okay, all right. The recruitment era here is kind of interesting with these free agents. Is this going to work? Recruiting them, courting them? Let's start with Carmelo. Does it really matter Kobe's coming back from Greece or, Houston with what they're doing and everybody else?
I mean, I think it does. I don't know if it matters as much with Melo as it did with Dwight Howard last year. Dwight was just begging for something to look sexier than the Lakers because he had so many issues with that situation. But with Melo, it's I don't know. It's a little bit different. You got so much disparity in the money between what the Knicks can give him and everybody else. You've got, and I keep hitting this hard, I mean, the family component, I thought those comments that he made last month were pretty poignant as far as his situation. Just 7-year-old son in school, wife likes New York City. It seems like you're going to have to rip him away from the Knicks. But, these teams have got to do it. Even at 30 years old, they know that Melo has never been a free agent. And these guys, they want to go through it. They look at it like a once-in-a-lifetime thing, and everybody's going big. I mean, the Bulls went big, the Rockets went big, the Mavericks not as big, but, a very professional pitch. And then, Kobe coming in today, I think, is big. Because if he wouldn't have been there, that would have been like the couple of years ago when Mark Cuban wasn't there to talk to Darren Williams. It's always a red flag when a key guy doesn't show up.
Okay, but aside from money, what can I tell you? What could the Lakers tell Melo or the Rockets tell Melo, aside from money, this?
He doesn't know him personally, for one, so he gets to get a sense. I mean, that's the funny part that I think people always assume incorrectly is that these players, if you did a poll and asked players to name all 30 GMs, they'd be lucky if they got 50%, I think. They don't know these guys. And, I think that's part of it, the personal side. You get to explain the dynamics of your organization. The Rockets in particular, it seemed like that. Like the Mavs, everybody knows Mark Cuban. He's so high profile. With the Rockets, they want to tell Melo, hey, we've got this owner, Les Alexander. He's had the team since, X year. We've won this many years. You give him the history. That comes into play. And then, and then you get to bring the players in and just tell them what the plans are and how aggressive you're going to be and why, if you want to, win a ring, you got to come that direction.
What could Kobe tell Melo?
Yeah, that one's different. Those guys they're tight already. They spend time together. They know each other. There were some rumblings that maybe Kobe wouldn't make it in, and the fact that he did, you almost felt like it was so comfortable with Melo and Kobe that maybe Kobe looked at the meeting as not nearly as important as everybody else. But, Kobe can tell Melo, I think it's just Kobe being there. Melo knows where Kobe's at. I think probably just seeing Kobe with Jim Buss and Mitch Kupchak and Jeannie Buss and that group, and maybe to get a better sense of how they function and what their vision is, maybe that would help Melo. But that one's a little bit different to me. Melo's got an off-season home in L.A. It's not quite the same as going out of your way to go to Chicago and Dallas and Houston.
He's Sam Amick, USA Today NBA writer, joining us, Dan Patrick Show. But with all that being said here, Sam, where's Melo going to end up?
Man, I don't know. I honestly don't, Dan. The Knicks, you keep hearing that he's probably heading back to New York, but I just don't see it because they have no guarantees of landing one of these big-name guys next summer. And in terms of winning, I just think, he would be rolling the dice a little bit. Not that they're not going to win at all, but to win on a championship level, it's, I'm torn between Dallas and I'm sorry, not Dallas, Houston and Chicago. I think Chicago's got more in terms of, the drop-off from New York to Chicago in terms of market and big city is not as drastic as New York to Houston. Now, Houston people hate hearing that because it's the fourth largest city in the country, but you just can't get past the fact that players do love Houston. They love, tons of players live there in the off season and things like that. But I just think the way Melo's wired and the big stage and getting the world's attention. And again, they hate hearing that in Houston too. They got the Chinese market locked up. But I think one of those two teams.
I think Pau Gasol is a big sleeper here. I'm a big Pau Gasol fan. I think he's very underrated. And he's a guy, you plug him in that front line, and you know what you're getting there. Where does Pau Gasol end up?
Not sure yet. The Oklahoma City thing is very interesting, but they don't have very much money at all. So that's one of those things where, you got to know where Pau's head is at and what he's prioritizing. It's not like he's one of those guys like a Melo who's looking out there saying, I've never won before. He's probably got a number in his head where he just says, I'm not comfortable playing for any less than this. I want to say they have around $5 million. The Lakers thing, surprisingly, is still in play. And that, we didn't see that coming after all these years where it seemed like they just, they were insulting him with trade rumors and he always took it so personally. But it seems like there's some scenarios where, he would be an important part of what they were trying to do. And, the Bulls are another one. So, he's definitely on the short list, and he's a guy that, with Kyle Lowry signing with the Raptors and some of these guys finally starting to get locked up, there's not that many kind of, supportive, contemporary, guys of that level that can help lure the superstars.
In the final 30 seconds, where did all the Kevin Love trade talk go?
Still there. The Warriors, I think Golden State is still the front runner. And I know I checked in on it last night and, nothing doing right now. I don't know. Kevin Martin has got to be part of the deal going back to the Warriors. And it seems like there's clearly not something else outside of that Minnesota is all that intrigued by.
Sam, have a great weekend. Give my best to the family.
Thank you so much, Dan.
All right, that's Sam Amick.